Hi, everybody. This document is an example of what a personal business letter in block format looks like. So I'm going to step you through each part of it. But before I do, I just want to explain this is a letter format style that you would use if you were going to send a letter to perhaps a college and you're asking them to accept your letter of application, or if you want to apply for a job. Okay, so some standard fonts would be like Arial or Times New Roman, and I don't recommend that you go too much smaller than size 12 or too much larger than 14, so right around in there somewhere. And sometimes you can adjust your font size if you need to to fit on the paper properly. In a personal business letter, you don't normally have any kind of a header in here. Corporations will often have a header up there, so it'll be their company name and their address. So a letter that gets sent out from a company is going to look a little bit different. So in a personal business letter, we usually make the top margin 2 inches. The side margins on the left or on the right, and our bottom margin at the bottom of the page are all 1 inch. So then I have also changed my font here to Times New Roman size 12. The other thing that you want to make sure before you get started is in the paragraph group, when you open up the paragraph dialog box, if it opens, that you have before and after equal to 0 and that your line spacing is single. At the top, we start with the return address of the person that is writing this letter. So this letter is being written by Rebecca Dunworthy. Her name is here at the bottom, and this is where she lives. Directly underneath is the date that she's typing this. Now these lines, are all single spaced, okay? When I finish typing the year, I strike the enter button 4 times. It gives me 3 blank lines between the date and the person's name that's going to receive the letter. This is the recipient now. So I have the person's name, and I will usually say Miss. If I know if she's married, I might use Mrs. or Mr. Then I have the street address, and then the city, a comma, and their state. So every state has 2 letters. Michigan, of course, is MI. And then I have a zip code. In major cities, there's a hyphen. Actually, in all cities, there's a hyphen and then another 4 digits. In some areas, if it's a small town, those 4 digits are the same for everybody, so you don't usually see that. But in larger areas, the zip code might be the same, but this helps the post office really hone in on what's the block of streets that it's located in. Okay, so this is Miss Julie Hutchinson, and her street address, city, state, zip code. Then after the zip code, I strike enter twice. It takes me here once and then on this line, so it gives me a single blank line. And then I have my greeting to her, the salutation, Dear Miss Hutchinson. Now, if I knew her well, I might say Dear Julie, but I'm not going to say Dear Miss Julie Hutchinson. This is how you would greet them if you saw them walking down the street. So you don't normally say, oh, hi, Miss Barbara Rutecki. You would say, oh, hi, Miss Rutecki, right? Okay, so it's either Miss Hutchinson or Dear Julie. Again, double space. There is a colon here. So this is closed punctuation. So tight, kind of high etiquette punctuation. There's another format that's open punctuation where there would be no punctuation there. I don't see that very often. It is extremely informal. So after the colon, you are hitting enter twice. Now you have the body of the paragraph. Inside each paragraph, or body of the letter, sorry. Inside each paragraph, this is all single spaced. In between each paragraph, you hit enter, enter, it gives you a single blank line. Okay, so this arrow shows you that you're going to hit enter twice. I have another paragraph, I'm going to hit enter twice, it gives me a single blank line, and then I have my last paragraph. I'm going to hit enter twice. Now I'm saying goodbye to her. This is called a complimentary close. So the most common one that people will use is sincerely, and that is a comma. Okay, so a colon after the salutation and a comma after sincerely, and that's got our punctuation. After sincerely, you're going to hit enter 4 times. Again, it's going to give you 3 blank lines here. And then you're going to type the writer's name, Rebecca Dunworthy. So when this letter is done, Rebecca is actually going to print this and she's going to sign her name right in here. Okay, after her name, you're going to hit enter twice, and inside this letter, you will read that she is enclosing something. Okay, so it says, since you just completed your business education degree, I knew where to get the help I needed. Oh, and that's a typo. Thanks for agreeing to look over my application documents. They are enclosed. Okay, so I know now because I've read the letter that she's sending something along with this letter. If it said instead, please take a look at my resume, it is attached. At the bottom, instead of enclosure, you would write attachment. Sometimes it's just a letter and there is no enclosure or no attachment. Okay, and then you wouldn't have anything there. So again, this is the person that wrote the letter. Her address is all the way up here. Okay. So just down at the bottom, all this in blue is just me telling you the names, and I'll post this on Moodle as well so you can refer to it. But this is called your personal business letter in block format. It's shown in 12-point Times New Roman font. It's got a 2-inch top margin and a 1-inch side and bottom margin. And you will use this as your sample for the next activity.